2020 has been very difficult for many people. Just as we begin moving through the COVID-19 crisis, our world is turned upside down. I'm sure you were sickened and saddened, as I was, by watching the video of the brutal killing of George Floyd. I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I have to say it. I have to say something that should not need to be said, but we have to say it over and over again, so that as Jews, we are crystal clear and the world is clear on how we stand. There is no place for racism at all in our world, whether it's in our community or our personal lives. Period. Racism has no place. The Torah teaches us that God created every person in His image. That's right, all 7 billion people in the world are created in God's image. And for a person to hate another because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity or even their political beliefs is almost tantamount to hating the God who created them. Most people are not bigots. They don't have deep hatred in their heart for huge groups of people. However, almost everyone has some prejudice. We have to teach ourselves, teach others, and promote the idea that God created every human being in His image, and we should view people as individuals and not prejudge them as being part of a larger group and buy in to the extreme elements of any particular stereotype. As Americans, we have the right to peacefully and safely protest and create social change. It's in the First Amendment. But as Jews, we have an obligation to be a light into the nations, to create a better world, be involved with Tikkun Olam. The Torah tells us that we have to love your neighbor as yourself. Righteousness, righteousness you shall pursue. Don't stand idly by the blood of your brother. And there's a mitzvah to not only to return a lost object that you find to your neighbor, but also to prevent any monetary loss in his property. So yes, do we stand up to create the social change? Absolutely. And at the same time, we have to protect each other's lives and we have to protect each other's property. For there is no room for a serious Jew to turn a blind eye and allow wanton destruction to occur. So where's the role for government in all of this? Well, almost 2,000 years ago, the Talmud teaches us that Rabbi Wyne said, "Pray for the welfare of the government, for if it were not for the fear that it inspires, people would swallow each other alive." Now, if you think that's an exaggeration, all you have to do is watch the news over the last week or so, when people were not bound by the rules of law and order. So then, yes, there were some horrible people causing terrible destruction. Rabbi Wyne taught this while the Jews were subject to a tyrannical Roman government oppressing the Jews. Yet he understood that the primary purpose of a government is to provide for the welfare of its citizens and to protect it against anarchy. So yes, as serious Jews, we support the police and we support the government. And in the same way that we have to teach the world to look at people as people, every individual created in the image of God, so too, when we look at the police and other authorities, we have to view them as individuals created in the image of God. We have to take our prejudices, recognize that everybody has them, but put them a little on the side in order to create a more peaceful world, a world where we can accept all of God's blessings. I'm Rabbi Wyne of Young Israel Aish of Las Vegas, and I want to thank you for being part of our community.